Today, we really are talking to Ted Gaebler, our city manager here in Rancho Cordova. It was a surprise last week to find Tim O'Donnell from Brea sitting in your chair, and we understand that you all did an exchange program. Why?
I was delighted last year in the summer when our staff came back from CEPO, Continuing Education for Public Officials, where they were involved with the Brea staff, and they suggested that the two cultures were so similar that we should exchange our city managers. And I laughed and thinking that they were joking. But I ran into Tim O'Donnell, their city manager, last February at a meeting that he and I were jointly presenting. And we explored the idea and thought it was a good idea. So we finally evolved that we would take 3 members of our team, our staff, from various departments down to Brea for 4 days. And Tim took 3 of his people here to be in Rancho Cordova for 4 days. And we found that it is a chance to explore our cultures and learn deeply from each other, and also to make some connections on some very important things that we are currently exploring. And Tim and his staff can be very helpful to us in the fall.
Did you find similarities between the two cities?
Very much so. The high energy level of their staff was absolutely amazing. And their city hall functions amazingly like ours does as a major community center. They have the library there, the Chamber of Commerce, a full production studio for communications,
Goodness.
the offices of both the police chief and fire chief, and an art gallery.
That is a true community center. What were the differences?
The biggest difference I found was that, of course, they are a full-service city. They are 340 employees and provide a whole lot more services with their employees.
I think Tim said water, sewer, storm drain, utilities that we don't provide, as well as the police and fire.
Exactly. So they're much more of a full-service city because they're a 100-year-old city.
Right.
We, of course, formed when there were a lot of existing special districts. So we make peace with and work cooperatively with our special districts, and they not so much. We learned a lot that I think one of the big differences is that their council is more involved, and that might be the case after 100 years, in some of the really nitty-gritty details of their organization, like purchasing things for $4,000 and $5,000. And my experience is that citizens get bored with city councils dealing with the basic mundane issues of administration.
That's interesting, and I would agree with you. So would you do it again? Would you go exchange with another city?
Very much so. I think the League of California Cities was interested in this experiment between these two cities, and I think they will be very much looking at fostering experiments between other cities, and certainly between Rancho Cordova and others. Palo Alto has been mentioned, San Rafael has been mentioned, Walnut Creek has been mentioned as cities in the north that we might do some exchange with in the future.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds good. Well, we'll look forward to seeing what it is that you've brought back to Rancho Cordova, and we'll stay tuned to see which city you go off to visit next. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you, Linda.